all those
like
things.
street
Yeah, I think it's called the voice pop. I think that's the name of the voice pop. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even enter the organization. I entered as I was in the back end, but they needed a presenter on the sport, and so they needed me to present. I didn't understand what was going on. I'm like, this is so different, and I prefer back end work. So why am I being put at it? But I thought it was something to help me develop my confidence, because the first time I started, I had like a coach with me. So after learning all of that presentation and speaking to people, we started like another segment where I started speaking with some celebrities back then. So it kind of helped me build my confidence, my presentation. So when I moved into real estate and I was given the role to present, it wasn't difficult because I already knew how to present or how to like you know, get my questions in order, all of those research stuff too. So that's one of the things that helped me with my presentation. I'm also a student of like research. I love to do one research. So I'm also doing market analysis. I'm also doing presentation. I'm also doing like business analysis at the same time. So those are the primary background that I had that kind of helped me shaping my, my field, my career path in real estate.
Yeah. So that's the next question I'm going to ask. Why real estate, and how did you make that move from what you were doing before?
So it started as a solution base. I feel like this is very popular on our YouTube about us. That's where I came to how I came to real estate. I remember I almost got into a scandal and case where I was looking for accommodation myself in Bristol. My sister called me like one day before we could make the deposit, and she was like, I want you to not do this on your own. There's someone that I knew that's done it before with somebody. Work with them. So I worked with the lady and she helped me get it. And then I was just youth copper. So what I started doing, I had this organization called Copmates before Victoria Acres. So what it was like the name implies coppers and roommates. So like Copmates, yeah. So I would get like coppers back then, they knew me, they would call me like, oh, we're three of us, how do we get an apartment, or how do we get like a fully detached and share among ourselves? I'll organize them and get them together, and then we go and do like presentations with some landlords. So that's what helped me, like the transitionary move from that accident to me being known to be the solution provider for helping couples and getting accommodation.
It was mostly rental back then.
Yeah, it was mostly rental, even shortlets as well, because it was from one thing that it built to another. It was from us having the rentals, people say, oh, I don't stay in Lagos, I only want to stay for 5 days, and we're looking for those options. So it was one thing that led to the other. It was more like a development process. It was more like we start from here, that solution, the company to the rental till I discovered my niche.
Okay. So what's the company now? Is that the phone?
All those things now. How do I even gain access to coppers now if I'm not in the group chat or anything?
I mean, it might be a market to look at because you're churning out youth coppers every year.
Yeah, it's a good. It is a good market if you're patient, because one of the things that was good with me is that you have to organize them. You can't go to a landlord and say 5 girls want to stay in your 4-bedroom apartment. Wow. So you have to find the kind of way to make it look like I'm vouching for these people, they need accommodation. Yeah, so it's just more like putting yourself online. And there was even some time I had to switch off my phone because the calls were coming in, oh, this is that. So if you are a solution provider, that's a very good place to start off from. Finding a way to help represent your client, even in rentals too. Find a way to make your client look like he's responsible, and the person can be liable to doing no damage to your property. So those are the things we were doing back then.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. As a woman venturing into real estate, do you face challenges internally, externally? What was the nature of those challenges?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of challenges. I just feel like you pick your battles and you pick one fight. There's sometimes challenges that we look at if you're strategic about it, you basically get a result. Like for me, I didn't start by myself. That's what I always tell people. Apart from Coffee, I was working with that lady with Coffee. And then when I started working with some agents in Shortlet, I wanted some standards, so I moved into an organization. Now, in that organization, I was mostly representative, so it's more like go represent us at this organization, go to this, these are the rules. So it was more like a structure that I was used to. I didn't start off like, looking solo. I started an organization. The organization had backing. The organization had resources. It had systems in place. So I learned those systems, and that's why I always tell people that starting, like, don't. It's amazing the name CEO, but the real game is partnership. Working with people that have knowledge, or people that have understanding. That's where the real thing is. So with those family knowledge that I had, it wasn't difficult for me because I still maintained the status quo. Even when I left, I was still in an organization. So it wasn't, the challenges was a little bit minimalized because I was working on that organization. I was taking most of the risk and most of the instability that was happening. I was much of a representative.
So they were sourcing the leads basically?
No, we were sourcing the leads. Okay. We were getting the leads, but it's more like we had a sales speech when we go there. We're not working on our own. We're saying, hello, my name is this from this organization. This is what we do. This is how we come into place. Let's have a business relationship with you, and we can be able to do this and that. So it's more like I had a pitch because it was part of the onboarding I had of the organization. So I wasn't going on myself. I was using tested theories that they have tried, and I was going on the field. So when I'm going on the field, I like my onboarding the first 1 month. I know how they're getting their listings. I'm seeing how they go there. One of the tricks we used to use. This is another trick for you guys. 9 a.m., 10 a.m., go to any site, you see the developer there. Every developer, that's their first thing they do. That's the first thing they do in the morning. They want to check their site, they want to count their commodities, they want to know everything. So 9 a.m., 10 a.m., I'm in the site waiting to meet the developer of that place. So that's one of the strategies that we have. So I was working with already tested theories, and that was what helped me develop my own type of theory.
So now you've grown from being in an organization that you are working for to starting your own, and you having people be under you. So are the challenges different now? Are you facing? Do you think it's a whole different dynamic, especially with the gender dynamics?
For gender, I feel like everybody's the same because when you look at the biggest people who are making it in real estate, you notice that they're men. If you look at the five top people, say 5 top people
in Lagos.
Yes.
You wanna call them?
I mean, I know that if you want to mention the big tech realtors that are making, okay, let's go to Judea and Cairo.
But we have Bridget Ade.
Amazing. We have Ramos of Lagos as well. We have other people as well. True. We also have mostly, if you look at the even Fatimila and their men as well. So if those people are thriving, then I don't think there's any. For sales representative and all of those things, yes, a female touch might be needed. A female touch might give you more advantage if you're strategical. The game is the game. People want to invest. They are looking for the most competent person. They're looking for the person that has the most knowledge. They're looking for the person that can give them the deal. And until that is done, that's their number one thing. It's like when you're buying a car, you're looking at the mileage, you're looking at the interiors of the seats, you're looking at the, how fast is it a sports car, what's the engine size. Those are the first things that you're minding on. So you're done buying the car, then you have to be like, that's such a representative actually knows how to speak English. And that's when you're done buying the car, you know that sales rep is actually nice, but that initial moment, you're asking everybody, you're even telling your friends to come and check the VIN number of the car to be sure. So when you're in that field, I don't look at it as gender being, it would give you an advantage if you're strategic and you're doing the right thing. If you're not doing the right thing, it will catch up with you. Because people want the value for their money. This is the most expensive decision anybody's going to be making in their life. They're not going to throw it away because somebody is pretty or because it's a lady. They'll be looking for the value of their money first. Until that is achieved, then the secondary part, which is where you're more in control.
Let me go more granular. So when we talk about gender dynamics, I think there's both the pros and the cons. So the pros which you mentioned, where you have a pretty face, you speak good English, you present well, and yada yada yada. Then you have the cons where women are facing lots of biases in the workplace. So if you could maybe wield the skill, what would you say are the things? Because there are issues. I was speaking with somebody a couple of weeks ago, and she had all complaints about people being inappropriate, people requesting for blah. So even because we talk about benefits, so what do you think are still like challenges that you feel as a woman?
Well, thank God the fields are even now, because men are also going for men and women these days. So you can't say.
That's funny.
So the fields are even. They can be looking at the male, they can be looking at the female in the place. chaos. Do you understand? But I feel like sometimes when women come with me with their challenges, I always, first of all, because I do not want to, people are inappropriate in every country.
True, true.
In everywhere you go to,
True.
most of these rich, sophisticated people, they might not even have a moral standing. So it now goes back to your walls, like your boundaries. I always say, what are the boundaries you're putting? Are you having an inspection with someone and you have an idea of what you're showing them, or you're just doing, I don't know, let me even call the developer, now wow, this thing said, are you doing that?
Yeah.
Are you going to a house inspection? Because I say this, when you go buy a bag in LV and all of those stores, they're all dressed up in their suit and they're wearing their handle. When you're going to present in hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of house, how are you presenting it?
Yeah.
That's the things that I look at, because if this guy is inappropriate to A, you're inappropriate to B. But the most important thing is that he wants to buy a house. So how do you manage? Do you have boundaries? Are you overstepping boundaries? Are you maintaining certain boundaries yourself? Are you doing a little bit of introspection? Because if we use that ideology that, oh, they are inappropriate, even if you go to another state, you still meet inappropriate rich people. So the best thing I always advise is that, what are your boundaries? Like I said, when I was going with organizational policies. It's not like I'm here to figure it out myself. You know that I'm a representative of this organization. I'm going with this and that. So sometimes when people have those, I always first of all like to look inward, because it's still the same challenges a guy will face. There are some women that buy houses from guys as well, but it's the way
not faced that.
You haven't faced the woman being a little bit overextending.
No. Maybe I need more female clients.
You haven't felt women being a little bit overextending. Let me come to your place now. I think I'll buy a house to use. You know, they want to make it.
Wow. No. Do you have colleagues, no colleagues that face that?
Some people would invite you for their housewarming.
Okay.
You'd go with the gifts and all of those things. Yeah, so how do you now present yourself in the housewarming? Are you going to go there and going to get drunk and having all of those things? You go there for business purposes. You go there with your business card. You go there knowing that I'm going to spend 2 to 3 hours here, and after then I have to leave. You know, that's what I mean by, you have to plan, you have to have your strategy.
To manage it.
Yes, and you have to have your boundaries to manage it. And you also need to learn how to communicate those boundaries. Because some people don't communicate. I'm not going to say that all my inspections were. No, I've gone to inspections where if someone is like handsy, there are people that are handsy. It doesn't mean they're inappropriate, they're like touchy. I know some people that be like, it's my daughter kind of a situation. They want to hold your hand, they're very touchy. I do respond to the touch, because the people that are huggers and all that. But when it's now extended, no, thank you very much. Do you understand? Because there are some people that are very emotional, even females too. They want to hug you, they want to, how are you doing, and all of that. So let's not take away regular human nature and disqualify it. Let's just learn how to manage, have boundaries, and control those situations. Yeah.
But when you're sure, it's not just haptics. This person is just trying to connect with the human level. When you're sure that this person has ulterior motives, has there been any deal or set of deals that because of your ethics you just have to walk away from it?
Absolutely. Developers and clients, because maybe it could be inappropriateness, it could be the way you handle your stuff. Like I said, you have to communicate this in the uncomfortable situation. I don't like the fact that you're calling me by 11 p.m. to come to your office. I do not feel it's appropriate. We should do another time. The person can do two things. The person can readjust. The person can decide not to call you, but you have already known where the person goes. And it also helps you to reduce your time wasters. Imagine having all this time and giving this person all this time just to realize that they're a buyer.
Yeah.
So always communicate. You have to communicate. You have to let them know, these are my policies, this is what we do, this is when I'm available, this is, you have to communicate. I'm not comfortable with this, I'm not comfortable with, like, that's what I always tell people, like, say you're not comfortable and don't let them drag you on for too long. So that's one of the things I usually advise.
That's interesting. So let's shift a bit. So do you have any specific deal that was especially very, very tough, maybe dragged on for months, years, or whatever, and ended up being rewarding? And what lessons did you pick from that particular deal?
A lot of things like that. Most of the deals usually drag, expand, because sometimes, especially when you're doing with hundreds and millions of naira and dollars as well, there's so many things. There's sometimes people might need to liquidate an asset before they're able to buy. Sometimes in an offshore account, they need to be able to move it. There's just so many complications to it that you have to just be very patient. But one thing I've come to understand is develop a closing strategy. I always imagine how the closing strategy would be in my head before I actually go there. For big term transaction, I already know it's going to take time. I already know I need to be in communication with the lawyers. I need to have good relationship with the lawyers because most of the cases, the discomfort you have in these big term transactions are the legal people not being well informed about the certain litigations or whatever that is the encumbrance on the property or maybe allowed. So you need to be I know I need to be in communication. I know some in my organization we do search with our in-house lawyer, especially project around Amadi Gift stuff. I know I need to go check that out and see what the status is. I know I need to do a little bit of test stuff. So in my experience, what I've learned is you have to be patient with those transactions. They are rewarding. The one thing I always tell my staff is be much more focused on closing a deal than closing a house. A deal is something that is good. Everybody walks away good. The developer walks away with what he wants, expecting. The client walks away with the discount they're expecting, and you walk away with a good commission. And you don't get that when the client is interested in the property. You get that, you have that meeting with the developer before you even put the listing on your platform. So those are the mini strategies that we have created to fight the fight now before we. It's better you fight the fight now than being in the middle of the negotiation. You're not fighting in your mind. Not find the developer and say, please wait, so don't take the money, or he has not assigned my you understand? So before we go there, let the client know, okay, what are you comfortable with, what do you want to do, and then you have to be patient, understand that it's going to take time, you have to be strategic, you have to be able to decipher what exactly is slowing down the deal. Is that they don't have enough information? Is it that the wife is having a little bit of cold feet, she doesn't like to go to the kitchen? Is it something that needs like a moral encouragement? I've had a case whereby the difference that was stopping the developer and the client from closing was basically $2,000.
Wow.
And you're with a $12,000 Chanel bag.
Wow.
Why is $2,000 the reason why you're not getting an asset? But she didn't understand that. But when I sat down with her, I'm like, look at your bag, look at your car. $2,000 you go for a spa treat. This is an asset you're trying to get. And it made sense to her. But if you do not, if you're that kind of agent that is like, this developer said they're being too honest, not knowing, you need to speak to your client to understand the value. You might have that clash of heads and clash of egos. So sometimes you might need people to bring people to understanding and manage their expectations. So those are the things.
This is a personal question, and it's something that like lots of realtors say they face. How do you deal with people that just come and lowball everybody? They want to lowball. They go and see the property and they say, okay, it's not worth this price. They shave 50 million, 100 million from the deal, and they are very, very insistent. This is not, it's not. And it's a different thing if you want to source them. So they come to you, you show them options, and everything is just like to put in. You want to put in an offer paragraph, but they want to like lowball everybody. How do you do it? Very, let's say, stubborn type of.
Penny pinchers, penny pinchers.
Not even necessarily, because those people can have money.
Doesn't mean the penny pinching means that you're trying to pinch out every single penny. Doesn't mean you don't have a big loaded bank. It might just be like whenever it comes to transaction, you want every single penny out of it. So two things like I say in this thing, I prep my clients before inspections. I let them know because there are cases whereby we're into development as well. We build houses and clients come and take everything. I'm talking about microwave, talking about the towel. Every single thing is stripped off and removed. So most developers these days are trying to put compatible items that people get. You can be able to make adjustments to remove it. So whenever I'm working with a penny pincher, so in my organization we have categories. We have ABC clients and we know how we categorize them. So when we notice that this kind of thing, it doesn't mean that they're not ready to buy. It just means they might need a little bit of adjustment, they might need a little bit. Work out that deal for them. Don't forget you're still your client agent. Work out that deal for them. But bring them into realization. That expectations, that management of expectation, you have to do that. You have to let them understand that you're getting this property for a good value. Yes, when you can see this, I even when some clients are saying, the microwave, I'm like, now you can get a new microwave, you're buying $120,000, you have to have at least 30 to 40 for furnishing, and microwave is part of it. Are you going to move into this house without buying anything? Are you going to move into this house without making it your home? Are you going to move into this house without customizing it? So don't look at the entire, those are things you can fix. I remember one time somebody was telling me when I was saying a land had piling, and he was like, what if I want to escalate the bar? I'm like, you can escalate the bar, you can put another one, because escalating is 2 times the price. So if you can do that, because you think saying that would scare me, you have made more money than I imagined. And in fact, that would double the price of that. Now it seems like you have money you're telling me about. And so now you just have to bring them to realization that look at the value, look at the location, look at the address. The internal work, you can customize it. This is a house you own forever. You can change, today you might change the color of white, go tomorrow, I don't like it, I want matte color. So always see in that vision that this is your home that you this is the house you customize into a home. Always have that mentality where you're going. We might look at some other things to take an advantage and ask the developer for reduction, because that's why they do that. Sometimes just to find a reason. Say, after all, I'm going to fix the door. After all, I'm going to do this. After all, I don't like that microwave. I'll flip it out. It's not my standard. So I use that. I do not disqualify that. I let them express themselves. I also bring them to the realization that, listen, apart from that, there are other ways you can go around this and get the house. Look at the value. Look at this place in the next 5 years. Development going to take it to the next level.
Let's talk about Lagos. Lagos is, it is very rewarding, but it is very challenging. So what would you say to a prospective first-time buyer that's looking at Lagos, whether it's the diaspora, in
Nigeria, and they're overloaded with a lot of information.
But if you just distill, in a couple sentences, what would the advice would you give to them?
Work with the right organization and don't be scared of the professional fees. That's where you're getting in trouble. It's just the same thing with legal organizations. When you go through a floppy lawyer, you get floppy result. But when you go to the organization and they give you their fees, you're for sure you can escape the trial. So that's one thing I tell them, like, work with, don't go and say, I know a cousin that was doing real estate before I went to London. This family friend. Let me go to an organization. Even if you want your cousin, say, okay, do you guys offer referral fee for this, my cousin that is involved? Because we also have that package as well. So go to the organizations that you know that are verified and are actually doing a little bit of work, and work with those organizations because they will treat you like a client, not like a relative. One of the situations I've noticed whenever people have that is that I noticed that they wanted to help you, and I just wanted to help this person, one I did this person, but you're not going to the right organization. So when you want to buy a house, just the same way, if you want to buy a house in London, you have to go to the right real estate firm to help you with your mortgages and all those things. So go to the right organization. Those professional fees are negotiable. That's the amazing thing. It's not like a stamp. They also want to make profit. They also want to make a client. So go to the right organization. Go for the right fees. Be open to negotiate. Don't take it as a final. Like, negotiate, ask, do what you need to do, and get the right results. Because this is like having a lawyer. If you don't have the right defense team, you're going to court. Open fire.
Let's see.
Okay, thank you. So the real estate market, like, let's talk about agent. You are both
An agent and a developer, and it's very rewarding, and that's why you continue to be in the agency field, even though you are a developer. People start as agents, they go full-time developer. So what would you say is, keeps you competitive and keeps you staying ahead of other agents, maybe like a roadside agent, that have been in the game for years, not really made a lot of progress?
So the two things that my key points be open for partnership and also have your structures and policies in place. A lot of people are so obsessed with this CEO thing. It's not easy. Even Elon Musk is not going to the office. It's not something you should be looking for. You should be looking much for partnership, someone that you can share the load with, someone that you can go and have conversation and have strategy with, even in terms of sales. And then do research. We do research in the areas. We have articles on our website. We did our latest article was highlight high-rise. We're talking about using high-rise structure as a solution base for especially the affairs, the city mapping, about we should encourage more high-rise. Most islands in the world develop in high-rise because of the scarcity of land, rather than continuously sand-filling. Let's be much more strategic.
Building up.
Yeah, vertical structure instead of horizontal structure. So we talked about it. That's one thing we do that is different. We do current land valuation, and we have a monthly valuation of what the land is. So if you're a developer and you're looking for an idea, and we also give advice on what kind of structures you can do there to spread your assets. So the difference between what we're doing is we're partnership, we're open to synergizing and working with people that are on the same wave with us. And then we're also open to research. Like any of our projects, we do a survey to show you if you want to use it for rental, if you want to use it for short letting, the estimated price, the monthly estimation, this is your early estimation, and then this is it without cost, this is revenue, this is profit. So we educate our clients. It's not that we're just, even on our YouTube, we have series where we're talking about how you can spot out a good property. So that's one of the things that put me, Victoria Acres on top, because we are always doing our research. Even in our team too, you have assignment individual. Social media person has an assignment. The admin has their own assignment. People, the sales rep, they're not just selling houses without not knowing what the land value are. In fact, the assignment from the sales rep is understand the land value, and that's what we now actually publish after you've done your research. So you're now aware because there's something that happened with one of my staff. When she did her research, she saw that most of the expenses were going towards the land than the construction. So if you do not understand that the land is what is more valuable over the construction, you will not understand why the developers are putting those prices in this location over the other. But she got that full realization. She's been working in real estate for a while, and she didn't know that. So we do that research, we do that observation, we do that partnership, and that's what puts us on an edge. That's what really puts us to the next level.
Yeah, I think I'm a testament to that. She invited me for her YouTube live that she started like a week ago, and it was so great, so great. And so I'll ask you the question that I asked you on that live as well. Speaking of developers, I know you're a developer, and most times you're the type of developers, even though you're an agency side as well, so you're side of the client. So what was one project that you called that this had red flags and this was not going to kind of was going to have issues and ended up having issues, which kind of proves that you're able to see good deals, you're able to see areas. So what was that one project?
Oh, this one project, I don't want to say it on the invitation, I'm so sorry, but there's some deals I'll just hear, I'll be like, sometimes I even tell my clients, when you finish by 1 month, please tell me and introduce that developer. Let me also, if that, when you're, don't be very stingy, don't be a kid. Tell me too, because me, I want to be an investor for that developer, and I want to shake hands with the developer. But there was a time I was dealing with someone and he wanted to resell the project, he wanted me to resell the project. And it was a nice place. I went there, I looked at it, and I was like, okay, so I was not looking at the paperwork with my legal team, and we're just seeing 3 names. And we're like, what's going on? Like, these are 3 names. I thought you were going on the property. Is this a company that bought it and all that? And we're like, oh no, that when the project started, they were doing buy 2 get 1 free. Buy 2.
Is it for Gary?
And so he had to call his friends and then gather money. I was like, you did not see red flag.
Wow.
You didn't see red flag. The same, they were giving you receipts.
What location?
It's in Ikate.
Wow.
They are giving you receipts, but you could see clearly, like so clear. It doesn't, the documents are not solid. The developer is not being transparent. It's just, oh, don't worry. I did not sit and I'll say, let me call this person. It's not like, oh, this is my lawyer, work with him, he will give you the solution, or these are people in charge of. It's no, there's no concrete, there is nothing. You just, and like I said, you just went to land registry and you saw Mr. Okonkwo is the owner, and he said, okay, good. You don't go to the survey office to see what does Mr. Okonkwo actually own. Did he over encroach? Did he do the right thing? Is he taking the 25 meter setback? You didn't check all of that. You didn't even ask him all the questions. The developer is not open to that. And you bought. You didn't see the developer. You didn't have the meeting. You did not hear him. Normal tenants, normal landlords are having meetings and interview sessions with tenants, and the whole developer can come and take his 200 million, and you feel like that was normal. Even Dangote, they tell him there's 200, million, $200,000 available for you. He will send his right man, and that right man will wear wire and come to your office and take it, and you'll be hearing the conversation and be shaking his head. And then you think a developer that is into business is not going to come wherever he is and take his 200. I'm not saying he has to be there physically, but he doesn't want to see you. He needs that as a red flag, buy 2, buy 1 free. I was just, even hearing that, I'm like, my hands are like, whoa, don't. Why? Why is 1 free? When this is not, this is not tomatoes that you can't pick and choose. Who is paying for it? Where is it coming from? And why such bonanza? Why do they need to sell? So that was a red flag to me, but the client saw it as a very golden opportunity. So that's another thing again. When the deal is just too good to be true, ask questions. I'm not saying you should not proceed because it might actually be true, but ask questions. That's one of the things I would advise you should ask questions.
So what are your thoughts on so-called distressed deals?
Do research, because AMCON these days are confiscating properties and selling for cheap. So I can't say, because there are properties I've seen that maybe the developer was trying to meet up a millionaire to sell this asset to check and balance that. So that exists. Those cases exist. Like I said, if you find a good deal, there are houses that are 250 on the market, and I was able to get for the client for 200, maybe because I know the internal situation of the developer. And the developer needs that money to finish the full unit so he can sell the property at actual price that he wants. So you don't, until you understand that there are so many logistics that can affect the price of this petrol, all you have to do is ask questions and make sure you have like you're working with the right legal organization, because there are some deals that are very good because the developer might need money urgently and is willing to let it go for a time, but he won't still be willing to let it go for
Ridiculous.
I'm telling you, because maybe that might be their own, that might be their sacrificial lamb. I've done that before. There are like when we started the Corinthian residence, there are products that I sold for 80, and that was on a payment plan. But when I got into a particular level, I'm like, and that was someone that took a chance on me.
Yeah.
That bought when he saw me digging the floor and he took a chance on me. But now that I know where I'm going and I've calculated my plans that they're complete and I know that I'm going to finish in July, I'll put it at a price. Well, except you're close to me, you're my agent or anything, then you would know that I needed that money then and you'd be strategic about getting me a client. And that could be like distress sale or buy it now is very well, all of that. So always look at the devil is in the details. Look at the details of the transaction. Don't close it up and say, even that buy one get one free might be good, but you saw the challenges after. The client still live in the house, didn't mean the person is living in the house, but in the future there might be issues, but the person might not even stay there to the end. So that's the thing. And property is about like you can start with okay today and you want to end up in Lekki. So it doesn't necessarily mean there's a starting position for you right now. It's a progressive journey.
Yeah. When you mentioned something about Amcon, and I saw, I think it was 3 years ago, I spoke to somebody. So this so-called Amcon and EFCC deal, I think I saw in the pin-up that maybe the guy was owing or whatever. So maybe the court can mandate you to market the property and then sell it at a discount to somebody else. One of the guys, he told me that the actual owner, the former owner, was still calling him. And so in a place like Lagos where, I mean, do you really want to take somebody's property that was a strong arm from him and maybe out of court, the former owner starts to disturb you, send you unsolicited messages, send you threats and whatnot. What would you advise?
If people start sending, so that still goes back to the legal team. If the person doesn't have any ownership anymore, why are they with the document? And what did the bank sell to you?
You, like I'm saying, okay, it is a good deal. You
Bought it, they had taken it from
The
ownership of
person.
it, but the person is trying to fight you in another dirty way because he still feels like
Under what ground?
vindictive, malice.
You can't just be vindictive. People have ups, you understand?
Yeah.
So it's like what grounds are you standing? Even if you go to the court, they'll ask you what claims are you
So
doing.
basically, the game is the game.
No, see, this thing is not like the game is the game yet.
Yeah.
I would ask you on what ground. I won't want to. That's why I said if you do not have the original document handed over to you by the court itself, that's when I'll be asking you what made you feel like you own the place. If you don't have the access to the original, you have to receive. But if they're giving you everything, because don't forget this is a legal transaction, this is a transfer of ownership from one person with a legal team, and most cases an MBA, a stand operative is in charge of this, and they transfer it to the new person. On what grounds are you going to make claims? Are you going to say you paid at all the property levies and now you want to go back again because already been sold? And best believe they gave you the equity that was on top, because the way the bank will take is what they are being owed, and they give you equity. So you're eating from there as well.
We should move on. So people shouldn't be scared of those deals.
You should ask questions. If you have full access to the document, the question I would ask you is on what grounds or what claims are you making? If you want to be vindictive, hey, even when you start building a property, you see those Omoili people coming. Are they not being vindictive? They're being vindictive. Everybody wants to share. You've come to their land, you've added value, they want to share, they want to eat, this is their land. You want, yeah, you have to manage it, but if you're going to that land, I'll be asking you what claims, do you have your full documents, was the transfer successfully done, is it halfway, those are the things, because now we're asking the guy, didn't you eat your everything? Why are you texting me? Yeah. Because the bank, there's no way the bank will not sell without something. They might sell below the market, but they'll be selling beyond what they initially gave to you so that they can give you some equity as it. So that's what I usually ask.
There's no dodging that. So just give it a slight break, because this noise is contaminating everything.
We are live.
You guys are
Wait,
live.
wait.
You guys are live.
Sorry for the break in transmission.
Pardon the break. Nigeria will Nigeria. No. I paused the recording. Yeah, please give me a moment to switch the battery out.
What I'm saying, BTS, you will show like the tools. You will block us, but you will show the tools and you can film this.
Alright. Alright. So sorry, people of God. We are live. Alright. Are we all ready?
Yes.
Alright, okay. 3, 2, 1. The next one.
So you referred to the Corinthian residence. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. That is your project, and you have a phase 2 that's ongoing. But as an agent, we work with different developers that we can see life. So there was a particular development that you were involved with the developer. Very sad story, covered on our channel. Then you see one of 360 towers. And tell us your experience with the man and that project, and what the outcome was, and how you get involved in that project.
The one that could actually
Yes.
So I wasn't really fully involved. It was more like an introduction to the project. I was supposed to come see how far it's gone and everything. So that day, there's a property called Frankfurt Tower as well. It's in Onikoyi, just right. It's like one straight lane, Onikoyi. You come out from Parkview area and then you come in. So I was at the first property because I was taking it step by step. I'm done with Parkview, and then when I'm going, I'm seeing the property. So when I went to that Frankfurt property, I was there, I was shooting my videos, and he called, like, okay, I'm here now, and I'm sometimes coming here. I was rushing to go there. And then when I got to like outside the Parkview side, I got a call from the Frankfurt management, like I forgot my shoes there that was into the house or in the property, and if they leave it's very important to have access to shoes again. I mean, I was like, this shoe is so nice. Okay, it's just the same shoe. Let me just turn, and since the lane is free, so I just turned. When I picked up the shoe, as we're having conversation, we heard a big like I felt like a thunder clap, like. So we didn't understand what was going on. And then when I was now like coming out of that part with the traffic was a lot, I was like, I'm gonna make that for me. Just because I was even mad at my driver. I was like, was this shoe really important? Is it that big of a deal? Or it was a sign, because when we passed, that was when we realized that the building had actually closed. That's when they were pulling people and all of those things. And took a while before any helpline would come. Everybody was just managing with that one lane traffic thing. It was just so surprising, because we would have been on the property, probably on the same height that he was looking, because he was taking us to. But because of that situation of because of that, I'm never in a hurry, because if I was in a hurry and like maybe it's just a shoe and stuff like that, I wouldn't have gotten that signal that I needed. So that's one of the things that actually saved me. But the project was just, that's the problem with this loading and everything. It was approved for a certain amount of floor, and normally what you do when you're building is that they give you 2 meters extra dimension when you're going, in case maybe you're building it another extra floor. But the maximum is actually 2. Depending on your capacity, if you have money, you can make it 4 to 5. Though it's more expensive, especially when you're using it. You now like did extra 5 topping on it without it proper load piling set. That was very devastating. But thank God I didn't fully engage. It was more like a side thing. And then that situation really saved me, because it would have been very, very sad. Who would have?
Yeah. So there are conspiracy theories that he's still alive. Do you believe he actually died?
I don't know. I wasn't invited for the funeral. I didn't see anything. I can't
he was on site that day.
He was on site that day.
So it's possible he died.
I cannot say because it hasn't been verified, it hasn't been approved. I wasn't at the funeral, I didn't see anything. I can hearsay. If the family, the people who are taking the loss are publicly coming out and saying that we lost this person, if we lost this person, if the family is coming, then maybe we did lose him. If the wife is mourning and wearing her black dress and all of that, maybe we did. But if they did all of this for a show, and I'm just like, oh, what was the benefit? I mean,
We don't even.
but still, everybody did play their own part of the game. So me, the audience, I have no other option than to believe.
Okay. So what were the major lessons you learned as someone that now is into development? What were the major lessons you learned from that and other, maybe developers that have beaten the dust all these years?
I won't even say that it's not possible for you to cheat. I won't use the word cheat, but maybe bypass, because you might find an easy way to get stuff done that you might want to for the original plan. But don't bypass the most important thing, like your M&E. I know some people that you use you just see this guy and saw that he did your switch in your DSTV in your house. And that is good though. I mean, DSTV installation. Now coming to do a full project and you're surprised at the wiring is somehow someone that just God did. So please, you have to be very, very, don't cut all corners. I'm not going to say if there's a way you can save extra 20 pounds spend, you shouldn't. There might be, but when you know it's not necessary, you don't need it. Get the right set of people to get the right stuff. I know some developers that do without layouts. How do you not know where everything is supposed to be? Like as the Lord Spirit leads. Spirit ain't there. The Spirit is definitely not there. You're doing things on your own accord. So I think one of the things that we need to do as developers, that we should stick to the structures that work. Stick to the things, stick to your niche. If your niche is doing affordable homes at this time, don't go and do affordable homes and slash the label of luxury on it. Affordable, sustainable is affordable. And it's your niche, it has mass market, you will always need. You want to go into luxury, you have to understand that time is your biggest competitor, not other people's development. Time and your ability to create something luxurious, something different, something people would understand. Because some people will do triangle structure and be like, I was trying to do something unique. Everybody knows why we do square. You go to triangle now, you see that all the space is gone. No, over innovate, contemporary, you can't do stairs that your furniture can't pass, you not do elevator. So how will your bed, your king size bed, pass that tiny staircase? And you slap the label luxury on it. So if we're going to be doing luxury, let's invest in luxury and let that be your niche. Don't do luxury today and say, let me just go back to that. Now we the audience are confused. We don't know where or what your niche is about.
Yeah. Okay. So now you started your own development. Tell us where you came to as a person, as a professional, that you decided, okay, I think I need to go into my first development, and how did that go?
I didn't start alone. That's why I always push in partnership, because it will save you less stress. It will save you a whole lot of everything you're going through. I started with a consultational role whereby I would move around my market research and market survey, and I would put like, this is what I think should be done. Because initially we wanted to do in that place where 3 bedrooms, but when we moved around, we found out that 2 bedrooms would sell more. So we turned the 3rd room into a BQ, so you're getting like a 2-for-1 special. So those are the things that I do that brings the value, that make them put me on board with it. Okay, so you are just being part of this project, you're supervising, you're ensuring the layouts are done right, you're going to the site, we're going to site every day, we're seeing, we're advising, we're developing, we're growing, and we're doing research, we're moving around, we're looking at what people have done. Is it beneficial? I remember one time I was moving around and I saw this property in Ikoyi. They had this central sewage system like they have outside the country, whereby you can just put your trash bag into that convertible and slides down. So in our next project, I'm thinking, instead of the cleaners every day climbing the staircase up and down, you could have that convertible with each floor, and then it's just like a central
like
trash.
Garbage chute.
Yeah, so you don't even necessarily have to keep your black nylon in front of your plate.
You just take
slide down in that aluminium stuff. Yeah, so I saw that and I was very impressed. So now moving forward, we're doing a project. I'm like, let's add that in there. It's good, it's sustainable.
And you add to the cost.
I would check. We have to do analysis to see if it's going to cost us more, because those aluminium they use there, we might have to import in large quantity. We have to check that. But another thing we're doing is we're making the gas central. Don't put your cylinder that will cause fire hazard in our apartment. We'll give you a central gas system, and you subscribe. You will subscribe. You will send it. over issues now. So those are the things that we're doing, that we're taking precautions. And if you don't have a consultant going out and making this observation, you might not be able to improve. So that's one of the things that we do. And then we're also part of, there are days where I'm on site, I'm doing inventory checks, I'm checking the coordinations, the straight lines and everything. We're using the accurate measure, we're not using rope. The tape is not expensive. We'll buy one for each floor and we can use that. We're not doing all of those things. So those are the things that you bring to the table that makes a difference. The fact that you're bringing ideas that make projects sell fast. We had a project to sell that in 60 days and we sold it in 45 days because we knew exactly what we were doing. When we went there, we found that nobody has a gym. Nobody had an elevator in that axis.
So for the sake of the audience, where was your first project?
It was at Ikate, right? Now if you go there, I wish I could take you there. We did a lot. We had to bring other developers together. We developed that tools. There's even a school there now, a Montessori school that actually we now made, we added some more poles and we now work with Venco whereby everything is on the systems, everything is automated. You just have to make sure it matches. We have a central CCTV, we have a managerial office there. So we're observing those people are using for sure, they're helping them observe. We did a pool there and we did an open lounge and we also did a gym. So those are the things that we did that many people came there. All they had to do was move around to confirm that we're doing something different and our price wasn't making sense. So that was the things that we did that increased the value of that project. And now, let me be honest with you, we sold out in 45 days with no payment options. Like people were paying full cash on and they were moving immediately. They were not even, one of the clients were even saying that we should not worry about finishing, that she wants to do her own finishing because she could see the value that we added to that project. And our 2.0 is going to be so crazy because it's close to the Purple Mall, which is like an all-inclusive mall. We have the cinema, we have the gym, we have a car wash, we have a lounge, we have a shopping center, we have a skate center.
Freedom Way.
Yeah, off Freedom Way, where you do your biometric and you want to run out of the country. Don't worry. There's now affordable accommodation there. So it's going to be bigger. The amenities are amazing. The road network is huge. This is going to be like one of our biggest, startup projects because there's some good to equate.
So tell us more about this project. What type of apartments are you going to do? Like 2, 3 bedroom? How many units are left? What's the price point?
So our 3 bedrooms are sold out now because this was the first thing people took. It was the penthouse. It was sold out without even thinking. What we have available right now is 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom. We have a total of 30 or 5 is gone, including 2 bedrooms. So we had to pause on sales for a while because the dollar was fluctuating and we don't want to put in a phase whereby we're selling off planned projects and now we're done. There is no replacement or resale value. So what we have to do is we pause, we get to a milestone, and we open back sales. So we're opening back sales at the end of this month. We're already gathering our materials. They're on the 5th floor. Once they're on the 5th floor, we'll start our tiling and everything.
So are you going to wait till the end of the month to communicate the pricing?
Yes, we have to wait because we have to go back. Like I said, we're going to be imputing some new changes that I've observed that I want them to add. Those will be added in cost. We're going to see if it's something too much for us to do. Is there a way we can work around it? The central gas has already been done and installed in the plan. We're going to be having a 10-footer, what they call the kitchen, where you're going to be installing fridge, washing machine, microwave, oven, heat extractor. So those fittings, we're going to be having 10 of it in the kitchen. So even the 1 bedrooms have fridge. What I was initially thinking to do for the 1 bedroom was to put like a central laundry service where you have those big wash and dry, just to save water and to save like lots of water. Yes, but then again I started thinking of how we're going to manage that. It's going to be possible to stress less crap with everybody having a washing machine.
But you can make a lot of money from that.
Yeah, but that means we start now being in charge of management and doing replacement, and then we will now have somebody saying, we have to now have a strategy on how to maybe do it. I don't know. It
won't be convenient for the occupants, but it will be profitable probably for you because I don't have to come downstairs or wherever to go to the laundromat to.
Some of them might even just get angry and buy themselves a washing machine.
Exactly. So yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so if you're interested in this new project of Freedom Way, contact us. Get on the wait list by the end of the month or whenever this comes out. Probably the pricing has been communicated. I'll put on the spot. We're going to give any discounts to people watching right now.
So the amazing thing is for an agent, we have accommodation for you. There are agency fees that we love supporting the agents that we work with. if you're not an agent as well, you don't do this thing full time, do it as a part time, we have what we call referral fees, whereby we also compensate you for referring a buyer too. And you, the buyer yourself, are wondering, what about me? Who is going to care for me? Don't worry, I'm going to care for you. Once you start having a conversation, and I know where you're coming from this podcast, that's when you're going to get the best deal.
Okay, so contact us to get started on your journey. Now, I have a